I was looking through our, we get all this prep material and stuff in the morning, and there's one that says, teachers reveal the names that they absolutely wouldn't use for their own kids.
I know my sister's a teacher, and we've had this conversation before of,
Oh, yeah?
and what would you never name your kids? And she said, and not even about the name specifically, it's that they associate it with bad behavior.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
That's what this list is.
And as a matter of fact, there are several Utah teachers quoted in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
The Huffington Post asked readers, teachers, what name would you not choose? What name would you rule out when choosing for your own child? Here's what they said. This is Jamie Nicolette. She's a teacher in Pennsylvania. I had my boys before I taught, but one year I had a Larissa, a Clarissa, a Marissa, and a Carissa all in the same class. They were all quite offended if I mixed up their names.
That's hard.
I resorted to calling them Miss So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, using their last
Last
names.
names, yeah.
This is from a teacher named Jackie Therese. Mine was actually a parent. The student was fine, but the parent was so mean I just couldn't handle seeing the kid's name ever again anymore. She doesn't mention what the name is, but this one says, this is a teacher in Chicago. Aiden is the name. I had 2 every year in my class for over 5 years.
Wow.
2 Aidens every year for over 5 years. They were always rowdy and had a hard time sitting still. This is teacher Joy Taylor in Utah, Joy Taylor Anderson. Any boy's name with an X in it that isn't traditionally spelled with one, like Jackson, Jaxon, or Braxton.
There's a lot of Braxtons.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Which I always think of Braxton hit contractions.
Contractions, yeah.
This is teacher says any boy J name. My first year teaching, I had 10 male students in a resource class, and 8 of them had names that started with J. It just couldn't take it anymore. Some teacher says, what name? Storm. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Also, here's Kelly Boren, a teacher in Utah. Any name that's also a virtue. Charity, chastity, harmony. They are always hell on wheels.
They don't live up to their... You're asking too much giving them that name?
Yeah. I started teaching in the 80s. I only met one Jason that I could even stand. Here's another one. Anything in the Aiden family. Also the Eiley family, like Riley and Kylie and Cooper. I mean, the list just goes on. This is for you, Carrie. Any form of Jackson.
Any form?
As a first name.
Yeah, as a first name.
Oh, okay. Well.
Any form of Jackson. Every other girl in when I was teaching was Katie or Kaylee or Keely or Kelly or Kylie or Kelsey or Kelty. They were all blonde and they all looked alike.
Wow.
Here's more Aiden.
There's lots of Aiden.
Aiden, Jaden, Caden, any variant of those. More often than not, they're handfuls. That's
Why
a teacher.
would anyone name their child Aiden?
I don't know. That's a teacher here in Murray. Aiden, here's another one. I had 2 every year in my class. Tyler. Every Tyler I ever had was a handful.
Tyler.
Darius.
Darius?
He swore all of the time. Names that are initials. Can't stand it. Betty.
What's wrong with Betty? You can't come across a lot of Bettys.
Well, here's what the teacher said. Betty, it was fine until I heard a parent say it about 50 times in 1 minute because his kid wasn't listening.
Betty.
Yeah.
Betty.
Betty. Jared.
That goes with the J names you were talking about.
One was a major behavior issue for our entire multidisciplinary team, and the other Jared just kind of was an inappropriate brat. I gave my all to both of them, just like any other student, tried not to let my feelings or judgment show. Now one is a successful influencer, and I'm proud of his hard work. His personality obviously has served him well. Any name that's a virtue? Yeah, we already had that one. I don't know why they're repeating these. Yeah. Trent.
Are there a lot of Trents? I can't imagine there's a lot of
There's
Trents.
a lot of Trents.
Yeah, there are a lot of Trents. Trent, he was actually a wonderful kid, but man, he made me age. Some kids just have an aura that draws everyone in like moths to a flame. He was charismatic, always kind, with an edge of malice. I remember telling him, imagine if you took all this energy and used it for good. I loved him and wanted to cry every time he walked into the room. It was Trent's world, and we were all just along for the ride.
Oh, yeah. I never
In
met that.
control.
I never met that kid that hate him.
Angel, sunshine, or rainbow?
Yeah, those are hard.
Yeah, I don't.
Speaking of this, if you would like help naming your children, we love it when you run names by us.
Yeah, if you're considering names, if you're pregnant and considering names,
You can email us radiofromhell@x96.com.
My friend was a teacher named Rachel. One year, her problem student was named Rachel. She said she felt like yelling at herself all day. It's another text. Sterling. I'll just leave it at that.
Sterling.
I hate anyone named after a car. Mercedes and Porsches, they're always bullies and bitches. Any kid named after a president. We had a Lincoln and a Nixon, and they were both very difficult.
Nixon, huh?
First name Nixon.
Wow, I wouldn't.
I like the name Reagan. I don't think that's...
No.
Nixon is...
Reagan for a girl.
Reagan for a girl, I kind of like.
Well, that's but that was the possessed
I
little
know.
girl in The Exorcist.
I know.
I wouldn't do that. No.
Do people have Care Bears as children? Rainbow? Sunshine?
Yeah.
Virtue names. My kid has a little girl named Serenity in her class, and she's the furthest thing from serene.
My wife had it in her class, a Ruger last year.
Ruger?
Named after a gun.
Yeah, you
Jesus.
got Colt and Ruger and Remington.
Winchester.
Atropos is wondering if there's any Book of Mormon names on that list.
There aren't in this.
Okay. I'm going to start to, because we have too many Brents and Mikes and, those basic names. I'm going to start lobbying for, if you have a boy, industry.
Huh?
Sure.
Industry.
Industry?
Yeah.
How about business?
Industry.
Sure. That's fine. Name them after like factory.
I coached a basketball team. I had 2 Hayden, Jaden, Caden. The worst. Oh, that's funny.
No Festus on that list.
No Festus.
No Festus.
No Muhammad.
No.
No Jonesy.
Muhammad.
on that
In other
list.
parts of the world, you'll find lots of Muhammads.
Oh, I can't stand another Muhammad.
Daughter's friend of mine is named Raiden.
Raiden.
Now that's a Japanese robot. That's a Shogun Warrior, Japanese robot. Tough kid names from football player dads: Titan, Talon, Jet, Rad.
You better hope they're good players when you saddle them with a name like that. You're asking a lot.
Rad. No,
Keith Lee.
What?
Keithley?
Keith Lee. These are all coming in via text.
Exxon. Name a kid Exxon.
Warden.
My
Warden.
daughter goes to school with an arson.
Arson?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Any kids named River.
There's a lot of rivers.
There are a lot of rivers.
Yeah, our
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
Oh, somebody says, we like the name Margot, but we already have a son named Marcus. Are they too similar?
No.
I like the name Margot a lot.
Marcus and Margot. That's okay.
I think you're all right with
Father of Ruger just called. His wife didn't know that it was a gun until it was too late.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'm sure
Really?
that's true.
Oh, boy.
I'm sure that's
that.
true.
Nobody told you?
She just liked the sound of it, and nobody said anything.
That's why you should run it by us. We'll let you know.
Yep.